Hey everybody, it's your boy Scriv, and today we are going to be talking about Matrix Resurrections. Now, before we get into that, if this is your first time here on my channel, thank you guys for coming and spending a little bit of time with me. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button, and if you do enjoy the content of this video, make sure that you guys give it a thumbs up because it does help the channel out a lot with gaining more recognition within the YouTube community. So, Matrix Resurrections. Okay, so I got what it is that they were trying to do. They were basically trying to do a rebooted sequel. Now, what I mean by that is they, of course, it was a continuation from the original Matrix trilogy, but in a sense, they were basically trying to reboot the franchise. Now, I will have to let you know, disclaimer, there will be some spoilers in this video. So if you haven't seen it already, please pause this video. Make sure that you go watch it first and then come back. Now, I'm not going to give all the plot points and, stuff like that, just because I don't want to take too much of you guys' time. But I am going to acknowledge a lot of what it is that they were doing. And so now, one thing that I will say is that with the new form of Smith talking to Neo about the quote-unquote video game sequel that they were doing, it's funny how they were, in a sense, self-aware. And what Smith said was that Warner Brothers basically want us to do a sequel to the trilogy, and so they were going to do it with or without our help. So even though he was referring to what was going on in the movie, he was actually letting us know, the audience, yeah, this was going to happen either way it goes, whether Keanu Reeves and anybody else was here or not. Yeah, this was inevitable. But when it comes to the Easter eggs as well as the references, the movie begins at the very beginning of the original first Matrix, when Trinity basically got caught in that old hotel room. And so where things started to change at was that I forgot the character's name, but she basically was looking at everything that happened in the original Matrix. But what she said is that some things are different. And so she said, why is the Matrix picking up old coding of the older Matrix model, right? So that right there, like, my mindset looked at it as, okay, the Matrix rebooted itself, but it's picking up old data from its older model and basically trying to go, do whatever it was trying to do based off of that. And so, of course, in Resurrections, Neo is back at being Thomas Anderson, but instead of him working, a data entry job, working in an office, he was actually a video game designer. So come to find out that he basically created the first three Matrix movies as video games, and they were loosely based on his life. Or some of the characters were pretty much based, like the one was based off of him, XYZ, you get it. So it had the Matrix feel when it came to the nostalgia of them basically replaying old scenes and stuff. It was refreshing to see, Keanu Reeves as well as Carrie-Anne Moss reprise their roles as Neo and Trinity. And then Jada Pinkett coming back as Niobe. Now, a lot of people were wondering, okay, what happened to Morpheus? Who is this new guy that's playing Morpheus? Well, Morpheus in the real world wound up dying. They never said exactly what happened to him, but there was a monument dedicated to him. So, of course, we, automatically, knew and assumed Morpheus died. So, the new Morpheus that's in the new Matrix is basically supposed to be, from what I picked up, the old Morpheus, but coded different. I guess that's how I'm trying to explain it and whatnot. And so I can't say it was that great of a movie. It was okay. Like in hindsight, I saw what they were trying to do, but overall the execution was not that great at all. And one thing that I loved about the original Matrix trilogy was the martial arts. The martial arts was like the martial arts, the sci-fi and everything. That's what created the Matrix in itself. That's what got all of us hooked. The martial arts. There was no kind of good form of martial arts. Yeah, there was action and fighting scenes, but it really wasn't like, it wasn't smooth. Like you looked at Neo fighting Seraph, you looked at Neo fighting Morpheus. You saw basically all, even my favorite from Matrix Reloaded was Neo fighting all of the Merovingian's henchmen in that chateau. Those were some clean fights. Everything was smooth and stuff. In Resurrections, it's like, okay, the so-called martial arts was kind of sloppy. Yeah, there was fighting scenes, but it wasn't all that epic. It wasn't to, I guess, our standards. They brought back the Merovingian, but he wasn't who he was supposed to be. It's like he was just a rebooted, exiled system or program, and it's like he just went crazy. That's not the Merovingian that I knew. The Merovingian that I knew, he was, this very sleek, prestige Frenchman that got away with everything. This guy looked like he was homeless for a good couple of decades and just, was going through PTSD. Like, exactly what was all of that about? But then we get, now I did look at it like this, is that when it came to the new Morpheus, the Lawrence Fishburne Morpheus, his subconscious was basically left in the Matrix. Because the way that I looked at it was that when you jack yourself into the Matrix, a little bit of your memory as well as your subconscious is, left in the Matrix coding. That's why, you're able to jack in and out easily. So a little bit of the Lawrence Fishburne Morpheus conscience was left in the Matrix. That's why Neo was able to create a new Morpheus with the original Morpheus, somewhat of his vague memories, a little bit of his, not necessarily his personality, but a little bit of his data coding. And so that's why the new Morpheus character basically was doing and saying everything that he was doing and saying. But of course the execution was just ugh. Then we got the new Smith. Now, with the new Smith, I looked at it as, okay, Hugo Weaving Smith was basically exiled out the Matrix. His system was cleaned and stuff. And so, but a little bit of his data was still left in. So Hugo Weaving Smith wind up finding a new form to take while still having his memories of his past self. That's how I looked at it. And so I don't know if anybody else kind of looked at it like that, or if I'm just the only one. But of course, the execution was not that great. I don't know what they were trying to do with this new Matrix. Like I said, it's a reboot. It's a soft sequel reboot. But towards the end, Trinity remembers exactly who she was. So Neil Patrick Harris, come to find out, takes on the role of the architect. And now, mind you, I love Neil Patrick Harris. He was basically the best thing about the entire movie. Don't get me wrong. Keanu Reeves, but I just loved NPH throughout the entire movie. He was very sarcastic. He was very, like, he is a good actor. I love Neil Patrick Harris. Don't get, that's just me. But I digress. But all of a sudden, he's starting to explain to Trinity and Neo what he's trying to do, and then I'm about to say Neo, Trinity basically just kills him several times, snaps her finger, and then he's back alive. And it's like, okay, what's going on? So of course, Trinity's now the one. Neo is still the one. So they're basically two halves to a whole, which I understand. Again, execution. I can't really say that, like, I told my best friend it was okay for what it was. I got what they were trying to do, but it was just something that we could have gone without. And my best friend, um he did make a valid point. If y'all were going to reboot the Matrix, then yes, reboot it with a brand new cast, but also pay homage to the original trilogy. Have clips and stuff like that of Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie Ann Moss, Keanu Reeves as the original Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus, and then just basically have the new cast carry on to the new generation of Zion. But then all of a sudden, now we have a new city called Io, I guess I believe it was called, but and so I was like, okay, I see what y'all were trying to do. Y'all could have done a lot better. But like old boy said at the very beginning, Warner Brothers basically told him, we're gonna do this with or without your help. So it's inevitable and whatnot. So it's just but what did you guys think of Matrix Resurrections? I can't say that I loved it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it nor like it as well. So I'm like right there in the middle. But what did you guys think? Talk to me in the comments below. Tell me if you liked it, if you hated it, or you're kind of in between. Why not? This has been your boy Scriv, and I will see you guys next week.